Okay, this is number 4 in our sequence, and in this module 4 we're going to cover just the basics of reports and forms. So as a reminder, we have a colleges table with information about four-year colleges. We have the state, I just changed the caption last time, tuition, cost per quarter, if it's near the beach or not, college name, city, etc. So if I wanted to create a report, for example, I still have one called colleges by state, but let's see this time a little more how we do that. So colleges by state, I'm actually going to just delete that report. Bing. And we'll create a brand new report. So 95% of the time, well, all of the time for us, we're going to be using a wizard. So I'm going to highly recommend two things. We use wizards, and then we will use design view. So let's go through the report wizard. The key for the user is to know basically what is the data. So it sure helps to know what is the data in my table, in my database, before I try to create a report. And of course I can join multiple tables together. I only have one table in this database, but I could have another table of majors or football teams or lots of different things and just try to merge them together. But let's just keep it real simple. So I'm going to create a report using the wizard. There is a blank report, which is a lot of work, and that's maybe if you really wanted something real custom like a paycheck. But let's just use the report wizard, and that's pretty straightforward. It says, where is my data coming from? All your tables and queries will be listed here. Well, I'm just going to get my data from my colleges table. And then it shows here's all the fields I possibly have available to me. What do I want to see? Okay, well, let's say I don't really care about college ID. I do want to see the name and the city it's in and the state and tuition, and I do care how many students are there. And that's really all I care about. Maybe I'll see if it's near the beach as well. Okay, so these are the things I care about. These are the fields I'm selecting for my report. Let's go on to the next page. So, by the way, if I only wanted to see them here for, say, the state of California or something like that, I would actually have to create a query first. So if I want to select the data, I'm only picking the fields, but you'll see it never asks me which state or range of students. That would have to be in a separate query, and then use that query in my report. Okay, now it says, do I want to add any grouping? Grouping is not something that's really clear to a lot of people. Grouping is basically the same as subtotaling. So I'm going to say, let's say group them by state. That way all the Arizonas will be together, all the Californias will be together. So that's called grouping. And that automatically will sort by that. So now my report is automatically sorted by state, and these are just in the order that I picked them. Next. Now I have another thing. I can say I want to sort them. Let's say I want to sort them by the city. Whatever your criteria is, you can sort them by tuition or larger colleges and smaller. I will sort them by city, ascending. You can choose descending or ascending. And here, this is the tricky here. Here is if I wanted to pick an average or a total or a minimum or a maximum. Every numeric field or the true false come here, and I can choose one of these. So none of these really make much sense to me. I don't care about the average number of students, but this is where you can summarize. Click OK. And I'll now move on to the next one. I am not choosing any summaries. Next. I just take the defaults. This is my favorite option in all of Microsoft Office. Adjust the field width so they all fit on one page. Ha! That wasn't there in the old days. So depending on portrait or landscape, I'll pick this landscape. A lot of times, if there's a lot of data, it's better to spread it out. Next, what title do I want? I'll say colleges by state, because that's really what I've got. That's all I need. Okay, finish. Poof. Colleges by state. So that's generally what we do. But you'll see it's kind of ugly. It's got this is cramped over here on the right. So normally what I do 99% of the time, if I'm creating a report, I will use report wizard, and then I go to design view. So let's go to design view, close print preview, because I'm seeing that I would like to scoot the city and college name over to the left a little bit, give these a little more room over here. Okay, so I'll close print preview, and this is design view. There's report view and design view. That's my report. Design view lets me go fiddle with it. So I have a lot of room for state. I can click in there and shrink it. I don't need that much room for state. Now city, I'm just going to move city over and click here. So what I want you to see here is there's different sections. There's up to seven sections. Report header will be at one time at the beginning of the report, and there's a report footer one time at the end of the report. Per each page, there can be a page header and a page footer. So there's 4 different sections right there. The data will be in what's called the detail section, and if we had subtotals, there would be 2 more sections, like a grouping header and a grouping footer. And then if I want these things, I can just grab them and move them over. Therefore, I have plenty of room. Tuition that doesn't need nearly that much space. So the page header has the title tuition, and then this is the actual where the data goes. So you see I'm giving myself quite a bit more space now. Number of students. That'll be right aligned, and this is near beach. And the little checkbox is yes or no. So you start lining it up like that, and all of a sudden you'll see that when I go to report view, it looks a lot nicer. And I can change my title, student population, etc. So that's the general rule about how you build a report. You see, I did not get asked for which state. That again would have to be in a query. It's grouped here by state, so all the Californians are together, sorted by city. So if that's what I want, that's how hard it is to make a pretty doggone good looking report. When I close it, let's see if I want to save it. Do I want to save it? Yes, I do. Now I have that. I can close it, and anytime I want to run it, boom, I just run colleges by state, and I've got it. If I add more data, delete data, etc., it will just appear on the report when I run it. Now, reports, you can look at it on the screen, or this, of course, can be sent to a printer. So let's go on and look at forms now. So a report, as you can tell, as you already know, is designed to look at a lot of data, not typically just one record at a time. Whereas a form is a little different. Here's a form I already have called colleges. This shows one record at a time, one college at a time. And if I move forward, I think this is off your screen, I can bounce around from college to college to college. Let me just build this form again, and then we'll manipulate it a little bit. Okay. I will delete that form. And what I do is I just go to create, and again, it's just like reports. I use a form wizard, and then I'll use design view. Form wizard. Where is the data coming from? I have several queries now, but I want to just access my colleges table. I want all the fields here to appear. Just hit the double arrow. That's it. Next. I'll just take the defaults. Just take the defaults. Colleges. That's fine even. And just say finish. So that's how hard it is to make a form. Now if I want to make some changes to it, let's say I want to change the color, or the tuition field is way too big. These are big. So if I want to make any changes to this, like I'd like to give it a little better title, maybe colleges, or I don't know, 4-year colleges. All the changes I make would be here in design view. Let me go fairly quick. I'll go to colleges. I'll give it more room, and I'll say colleges 4-year. Just to narrow it down. Tuition, I realized I had way more space than I needed. Shrink it. Cost per quarter, I don't need that much space. Some of these I do need space. In fact, I can make this bigger. And let's say I want the background of this now. I'm right-clicking, back color, I don't know, just pick something light blue, and down here, back color, I am not a color person. Green, it'll be terrible. So that gives me a little bit better. That's how hard it is to create a form. Let me add a couple more things that make it kind of cool. So a form, again, is designed for one record at a time. I would like to have a big, because closing this is tough. You have to come down and find where it is to close it. And you don't want to just exit out of here. Let's give a really good button. So what we have here in Design View is a really cool thing called buttons. I can add a text box. There's a whole bunch of what are called controls. I can add an image to this. I can add attachments. There's lots of things I can add, but all I want to show right now is this one called a button. So I'm going to add a button and just come here and spread out a button. So the buttons are really powerful. This is, seriously, you can design a full information system this way. Let's say I want to have a big button that you can have them from record to record, go to first record, go to last record. I can say add a new record. Let's add a button that adds a new record. And there's some funny little pictures, but I like the text. So it'll say add record, next, that's it, finish. So now I have a button that adds a record. Rather than go to the bottom of my form, go to the end of the table, this will just add it. And let me add another button. Let's add a button that say will close the form. So my form itself, I could open another form or close a form or print a form. Be careful. In this class, you're never going to do that. Do not print a form. If you actually try to say print on a form, it will print one page for every single record in your table. And if you have 1,000 records, it's going to print 1,000 pages. So let's just have a closed form. Okay. And again, there could be a little picture like a door or a stop. But no. I'd rather just have it say close form. Next. And I will put that, make that a nice same size as the other one. And maybe I'll move that down to the bottom so it's really obvious where the closed form is, or it could be way up here, it doesn't matter. So that just gives you an idea of how I can add buttons to a form. I think I'll make it a little bit bigger. Cool. Now if I go to my form view, I have buttons. So now I'm here and I say, gosh, I want to add another. I want to add Tulane University. Let's click here to add. Okay, Tulane. That happens to be in New Orleans, Louisiana. And I have no idea what the tuition is, 40,000. And near beach, no. It does have this. So it automatically, remember, calculated field. Number of students, I have no idea. Let's say 20,000. And application date, 7-1-20. Good. That's how hard it was to click add a record. Now I'm going to say close the form. Do I want to save changes? Yep. So now I have over here, I have a colleges form with colors, and then I have a report. One more thing on the form. Let me go back into Design View. I can move things around. Like on-campus housing, I could put over here. I can click on that and just move it. In Design View, I can grab all of these and move them up a little bit. This is actually kind of fun. Once you play with it a little bit, you get better and better. City, that's a little bigger than I need. College name is actually a little bigger than I need too. And you can fill it with it. Near beach is here, on-campus housing here. You can move things around. You can change the size of them. That gives you a pretty good idea. So what we did here was under Create. We can use Form Wizard or Report Wizard. Form Wizard or Report Wizard, and then Design View to make your forms and reports look like how you want. Okay, that's it.